What's up, guys? Today I got a pretty cool knife to share with you because my buddy John shared it with me. So I've done some other videos from John. He's lent in several things, the Trouble Blade the other day. He sent in some Medfords. He sent in some Striders. Like he has a very varied collection, much like I do. He collects all kinds of stuff, and so he has been great in sharing that with me so that I could share it with you guys. So I did an unboxing, recently, and this was one of the ones. And typically with some of my friends, I don't know what they're going to send. They ask, do you like this or that? And I give them a couple of ideas, and they just kind of send me stuff. So that's the awesome part about this, is being able to see different things. So this is an Old Dominion Knife Works Mini-Cleaver from Casey Middleton. Now, I am not super familiar with Old Dominican Knife Works or Casey, or at least I wasn't when I got this. I have now done some research and know a little bit more about him and a little bit more about his different models and things like that. Not an expert by any means, but when I pulled this out of the box, did the unboxing, and really spent a few minutes with this knife after the unboxing, I kind of fell in love with this one. Out of the three that John sent, this is the one that I liked the best. To the point of I may end up keeping this and sending him back something else instead, because we've been talking, and I've mentioned that before on a couple of reviews of people sending things in, how, oh man, this would be great to have one of these in my collection and things like that. But I've never done that. This one quite possibly may stay in my collection. In all seriousness, we've talked about some pricing and some options, and we may trade. I don't know. We're going to see. I still have it here for a few more days or a week. I have one more video of his to do before I box these up to ship back to him. Will I ship him 2 of his own plus 1 of mine, or will I ship him 3 of his own? We don't know yet. I will keep you posted on that. Anyway, let's dive into this. It's different. I don't know why I'm so taken by this one. 4.5 inches closed. Overall length, 4.5. 3-inch blade, 3-inch cutting edge, give or take. They're about the same on this one, actually, because I measure the blade from here to the tip, and really it's about the same where the cutting edge starts. This one's basically 3-inch and 3-inch. It's AEBL steel. It's rather thick at 0.184, which works for me. You guys know I'm into thicker, bigger, overbuilt knives. It's kind of heavy. Not as heavy as some others that I will show in size comparisons here shortly. But it's 7.7 ounces. But it's not too heavy for me to carry on a daily basis. I have carried this around for the last couple days in my pocket here at the house. I work from home, so it's not like I'm out there using it, but I'm also considering keeping it. So anyway, it fits in the pocket really well, and it's easy to carry. It's 0.61 at its thickest overall, minus the clip. The clip is pretty cool. It almost looks a little, flimsy, but it's not. It's really stout, and I do like that, and it does work in the pocket really well. So let's kind of zoom in here, because I think this is worthy of some close-ups here. So the pivot collar as well as the backspacer, is Mars carbon fiber from a company called Fat Carbon. Pretty cool. The finish on this titanium scales, I don't know exactly what they call it, but it's very battle worn looking, and partially I'm sure that is because John carried this. Is just scratches from carrying it in and out of the pocket. And I just love that. This is a total user style knife because, well, it's already kind of dinged up and scratched up. So what do you care? Just use it. Now the blade does get a lot of fingerprints, I have noticed. Not my favorite. I would like something like this in a nice heavy stone wash. Oh, that would be killer. Because yeah, this one does play with the light, but it's a really aggressive grind. I mean, it starts way at the top and comes all the way down. I don't know if this will show very well, but it does get down pretty thin at the edge, and this will cut. And it just feels good in the hand for being a short blade. Normally I'm into that 3.5 to 4 inch blades as my normal daily carry stuff. This just feels great. I'm not hanging off the edge. It fills my hand and it just feels good. Little bit of a hot spot from the clip, maybe right in here at the edge, you know, kind of towards the end of the clip. But all in all, this is great. Has a fairly smooth action. This one was a little bit gritty when I first got it. I think it needs a good cleaning. I put 1 drop of oil on the detemp ball, and that really helped to smooth it out. But I did talk to John. He said, by all means, feel free to take it apart, use it some, you know, whatnot, treat it like my own. So I will tear this one apart here shortly, and I will probably do a video on that. I have not done a takedown disassembly video in a while, and people tend to like those. So I will probably film that and do that here in the next few days, so I can get that up pretty quickly. I love the kind of taper here of the blade. It just really works well with this handle. You don't feel the blade at all. You're totally safe there, but it just kind of comes down, and the edge of the blade really kind of hugs the contours of the handle. And I love that. I think it looks good closed on either side. It looks good open, smooth action, and just fits in the hand really well. And the more I've looked into Casey and his company, the more I hear people say great, amazing things about him. Now, these are handmade, all by hand. He does not have fancy CNC machines, from what I understand. No fancy mills and things like that. He's doing these literally by hand with, you know, normal tools, nothing fancy. And so I brought out something in comparison because it's very different, yet very similar in design and how it's made. So this is the Phil Harvey Peacemaker, which everybody has seen. If you follow my channel at all, you know that this comes out from time to time. And Phil Harvey over in the UK is also a handmade maker. So he doesn't have fancy CNCs and mills, and you know, he has some mills, right? They all have some power tools. I'm not going to say that these are done like in the Stone Age with, you know, just a coal forge and a hammer and a chisel. And, you know, no, they do have some modern tools. They just don't have big CNC, expensive, fancy tools, right? They have a bench grinder. They've got, power tools, right? We're not living in the dark ages. But kind of a similar design, just with the cleaver style, right? They're a little bit different, of course, because, they're different. But similar style, similar handmade on normal tools. Phil, I know, has a very small shop on his property, and that's where he makes them, in a very small town outside in, the UK. And I know it's a very small town because I shipped this back to him after I first got it, because there was a slight issue. And I was nervous shipping it back to the UK, let me tell you. It was about 5 or 6 days of nervousness with this big bad boy in the mail going to him at his small town. But it got there no problem. I think it was 5 or 6 days. It was there. Phil's told me he got it. We were texting back and forth. He said, I got it, no problem. Let me look at it. He goes, yep, I see the problem. Let me take care of it. And literally in a couple of days at his shop, he had it fixed, shipped back to me, no problem. That's what I love about hand custom knife makers. It's Phil all by himself, and it's Casey all by himself. That's it. So if I've got a problem, I can reach out to Phil, I can reach out to Casey, and I can say, hey, here's my problem. What can you do for me? And it was a great experience with Phil. So far, there's no problem with this. Again, I don't own it yet. But in asking John for some specs on this, he didn't know. He couldn't find the box. He didn't have the paper. I mean, he's got the paperwork, but as you and I know, as knife collectors, we put all the boxes off to the side. They're in a bigger box in the garage, maybe, or in my home office, in the closet is where I keep mine. And, digging through every box to find the paperwork on this one could be daunting, could take all day. And so John reached out to Casey and said, hey, remember that Mini-Cleaver? I don't know the whole conversation. But then Casey responded back to him fairly quickly and said, yeah, here it is. And that's where I came up with the Mars carbon fiber and the, a couple of other little things. So here's another one I have for comparison, would be the Reese Whelan Fatty Slash. Again, different, but still similar in the fact that Reese Whelan builds these one by one by himself. It's got a cleaver style blade because there's no tip. This one is, small. This is, kind of massive at 3/8 of an inch thick. But again, these are kind of my style. So, I guess it's small, medium, and large cleavers. So I guess I'm talking myself into making sure I get this one from John. The more I ramble on here talking to you guys, I don't know. But I think these are great. I have heard nothing but amazing things about Casey the last few days that I've been talking to people about him and the company. And, I gotta say, this is, I don't know, it's just fantastic. So there you have it. I got a little bit kind of off my normal track here. Didn't compare it with the typical knives, but I think you guys get the point and can understand what it is and how big it is and all that good stuff. So yeah, there you have it. Thank you, John, so much for loaning this in. I do greatly appreciate that, as well as all of the other knives you've sent, and just for our friendship and helping me with some Facebook groups and all of that stuff. So, and thank you all for watching and supporting the channel by watching and by liking and by subscribing and sharing and all of that as I grow the channel. keep it up. I want to keep growing the channel for sure. No question there, right? That's every YouTuber's goal, is to continue to grow and expand. So thank you all for that too. And with that, I will say have a great day. And be sure to tune in tomorrow, and we will see you on the next one. Thanks, guys.